5 drinks a day? 0 drinks a day? Let's find out. Welcome to the Fabulous Health Show. I'm your host, Terry Chrisman, and I'm a whole foods, plant-based nutritionist. And this podcast is all about helping you obtain optimal health so that you can live a long, happy life and age with grace and vitality. So welcome to episode 24. Today we're going to talk about alcohol, what it is, how it affects our health, so that you can make an informed decision about it. So this podcast goes live every day at 10 a.m. US Central Time. It's live on my Facebook page and it's live on my YouTube channel, Fabulous Health. Afterwards, I load it directly up to all your favorite podcast platforms such as Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, all those ones. And you can find them and subscribe when you go to my website, fabuloushealth.net. Don't try and search for them on the podcast platforms because there are millions of podcasts and I've tried to search for it. I can't find it yet, but once we get more and more people subscribing, then it'll show up more in the search results. So I really, really appreciate you. If you are subscribing to the podcast, thank you so much. If you're downloading it, if you're listening to it, if you're watching the YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to YouTube. And please feel free to share this. If you share it on Facebook, if you share it with your friends, it's all good. I really love to spread the word. So what is alcohol? Alcohol is a toxic substance to the human body. The human body hates alcohol so much that it wants to get rid of it. It metabolizes it very fast, faster than food. So alcohol has 7 calories per gram, which is almost twice that of carbohydrates and protein and almost as much as fat. So alcohol gets metabolized at the expense of other nutrients. So what this means is that if you're eating pizza and drinking a beer, the calories from your alcohol, excuse me, I've got frog in my throat. The calories from your alcohol are used as energy first, while the calories from your pizza and your beer are stored on your butt or your tummy or your neck or your bat wings or wherever, and they're used later on if you don't overeat. But what happens is, traditionally, if you're a man, you eat and drink at the same time, so you end up with that beer gut and you end up storing the calories from your food. But women tend to drink alcohol instead of eating. So they're getting they're getting their alcohol metabolized through their body, but they're getting 0 nutrients, which can have detrimental effects to the body throughout their entire system. So the chemical name for alcohol is ethanol, and most of the ethanol is broken down in the liver by an enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase, ADH. And in fact, when I talk about enzymes are these little protein molecules that are catalysts for other things in the body. There are enzymes for everything. So imagine an enzyme being like a helper who helps you do things quickly. So a personal assistant to a chemical reaction, and it pushes things along and gets things going in a hurry. And enzymes always end in the 3 letters ASE. So when you read about in a scientific journal about something which's got an A's at the end, you know it's an enzyme, you know it's a catalyst to get another thing going on. Anyway, the ethanol is broken down into alcohol dehydrogenase, which is then transformed into the toxic compound called acetaldehyde, which is a known carcinogen. Now, acetaldehyde doesn't last very long in the body, and it's quickly broken down by another enzyme to a compound called acetate. And that acetate is broken down into carbon dioxide and water in the tissues rather than in the liver. So I'm telling you the whole process so that you don't get kind of fixated on the carcinogenic acetaldehyde. However, I do want you to get fixated on that because that's where all the nastiness happens. So while the alcohol has been broken into while the alcohol has already been broken down into acetaldehyde, that's where it does all the damage, and it's particularly evident in the liver where the bulk of the metabolism takes place. Some of the alcohol metabolism also takes place in other tissues like the pancreas and the brain. So you can get damage to these tissues as well. And small amounts of alcohol is metabolized to acetaldehyde in the gastrointestinal tract so that you can get damage to these tissues as well. So it's not just, you hear people saying, oh, if you drink too much alcohol, it damages your liver. It can damage everything. Now, of course, in addition to this, it has toxic effects on psychological and psychosomatic effects. Sorry, not psychosomatic effects. What am I saying? I'm making words up now. Physiological effects on other parts of the body as well. Plus, it has psychoactive effects on the brain. So things like lack of coordination, memory impairment, sleepiness, and stuff like that. And you know what that's like. When you get drunk, you have motor control problems, you can't make decisions properly. And of course, that's why drinking alcohol and driving is against the law. Drinking alcohol and operating heavy machinery is dangerous. And, drinking alcohol and going ice skating and whatever, don't do it, yeah? So research shows that alcohol use and alcohol-related problems are influenced by individual variations in alcohol metabolism in each person. So it is controlled by genetic factors, such as variations in the enzymes that break down the alcohol, and also environmental factors, such as the amount of alcohol a person consumes or their overall nutrition. So regardless of how much a person consumes, the body can only metabolize so much alcohol every year, and that amount varies among individuals and depends on tons of different factors, including the size of your liver, your ethnicity, and your body mass. So some people can break down the acetaldehyde quickly, whilst others cannot metabolize it as fast, which leads to more dire health consequences, because when you've got that acetaldehyde floating around in your blood, that's when it does all the damage. Now, you may have picked up that I said that ethnicity was included, and that's because of the genetic differences in the enzymes that metabolize alcohol. So, for example, one version of the ADH enzyme is common in people of Asian descent and uncommon in people of European descent. So they metabolize alcohol differently. If the version of ADH that you metabolizes your alcohol quickly, people get sick really quickly from just like one drink. So they're less likely to drink. And guess what? They're less likely to get alcohol addiction as well. I also believe, and this is not scientific, this is from my own experience, that your ability to produce the enzymes that metabolize that metabolize the alcohol changes as you age. And ask your friends, ask yourself, when you're young, you can probably knock out a lot of alcohol and really deal with it. But then the older you get, it requires less and less and less alcohol for you to feel the effects of it, and also to feel the after effects of it. So that could be due to the enzymes. I know that it's a fact that happens with milk. When you're a baby, you have lactase, which metabolizes lactose in milk. And as you get weaned from your mother's milk, you stop producing the lactase enzyme. So therefore, you can't digest the lactose sugar. So it may be the same with alcohol, but I haven't done the research on that. That's just my opinion on that. So alcohol consumption can contribute to the risk for developing different cancers, including cancers of the upper respiratory tract, the liver, the colon, the brain, and breast cancer. And as alcohol is processed by the liver, more than 90% of people who drink heavily develop fatty liver disease. Some people can also develop alcoholic pancreatitis, which has a knock-on effect of creating diabetes, because the pancreas is the organ which is responsible for manufacturing the insulin. And without insulin, we can't get glucose into the cells, and wacko the duck there, you've got diabetes because you've got all that glucose flying around in your blood. So my question to you is, after learning all this, how much alcohol is too much for you? For me, 0 alcohol is absolutely perfect. For me, alcohol offers no benefit at all. And I know it's hard because we live in an alcohol-laden society, and everywhere you go, alcohol is offered to you. You go to somebody's house, they offer you a drink. You go to a restaurant, they ask you what you want to drink. So if you don't want to drink alcohol, what can you have instead? I don't want you to sit there with your hands going, I'm at a party and everybody else is doing this, and I'm like, whoa. Drink something else. Drink fizzy water with ice and lime. If people are having cocktails with all the pieces of fruit and the lovely umbrellas and little plastic monkeys hanging off it, go to the bar and ask for a fizzy water with some fresh juice like cranberry juice or orange juice or pineapple juice, and get them to put all the little bells and whistles on top of your glass, just like your friends. So you are part of the group. You're drinking the beautiful cocktail because it's got fizzy water and fruit. It's got no bad sugar in it, no processed sugar in it. Plus, you get your little plastic monkey and your little umbrella, and you feel part of the group, yet you're not getting the adverse effects of the alcohol. The other thing is, be strong. People are really quick to alcohol shame. And that is just to justify their actions of drinking the alcohol. That's not on you, that's on them. So you need to be strong. If you don't want to drink alcohol, you need to be strong and you need to say no. Now, if you think you might have a problem with alcohol, or you just need a little support in being alcohol-free, please reach out to an addiction recovery centre in your area. You don't need to be an addict to seek help, because those centres will help you. Just get resources and give you tools to help you say no when people offer you alcohol. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them here on Facebook and on YouTube. You can go check me out for more episodes on fabuloushealth.net. Click on the podcast button and then take it to the next level. If you want more help with your weight, then check out my course, The Quick Road to Fabulous Health Loss. The Quick Road to Fabulous Health Loss. I really am tongue-tied this morning. The Quick Road to Fabulous Weight Loss for 50% off. Use my promo code podcast. And I wanted to show you, I've got this groovy t-shirt. Check this out. It says friends and food. And that's also available on my website. And I've also got this funky cup, friends and food. You can check that out on Fabulous Health as well. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow, same time tomorrow, and have a fabulous day. See you later.